Hello everyone, welcome to the Council Cup. In this series, the Council will be dividing up amongst themselves to both compete and cast in a 4-man tournament. First up, we have Saber versus InfernZ with King Ches and yours truly, Goreflow, casting. It would really help us out if you guys would like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy the video. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.
I know, I mean. Of course I mean.
You're trying on your
Right.
blood!
So this is the first game of the Council Cup, and this time we have Hidden Cache versus Fish Flappers Battle Trance.
It should be an interesting match here. I think that we're both pretty confident that Passiflora should have the stronger long round, right, Ches?
I think Hidden Cache Passi should be favoured if we get into a long range, especially with Lassie. Lassie is going to be useful as the Fish Flappers deck is running a Spores and a Heatwave.
That's correct.
I also think Blue Coin is favoured in this matchup. Certainly helps you secure the round, and by securing the round, then you you essentially gain control of the match, right?
Yes. And this is actually a pretty interesting opening play from InfernZ because I don't think that Saber has an efficient answer in his deck this early in the round, does he?
He has Decoction, right?
That's true, but if he decoctions this Kikimor Warrior that's only 4 provisions, then he won't be able to use it on, say, I don't know, Lieutenant Von Hurst later on, right?
That is true. However, this Kikimor Warrior is representing 3 points a turn. The Von Hurst is only 2 points a turn. He does have a Bear Witcher that he can answer the Kiki later on, but it does come down a lot later on. But it looks like he's just going to let this Kiki go through, and I think InfernZ is extremely happy to see that. This hand from InfernZ is very, shall we call it, weak. He's got a lot of spenders. It's not balanced. Balanced is probably the word. It's not very balanced. Has a lot of spenders, not a lot of engines, not that much coin generation. So he does go for the MK. I think that's correct with this many spenders in hand. I think he wants to play the MK here. Problem with MK is she always just dies to a decoction, but maybe that's okay.
I think that's a good point. Overall, we're really seeing about 2, 5, 6, 7, 8 potential points per turn from InfernZ's hand, though, so it should be pretty competitive if he wants to throw down a couple of those, engines. He might want to be saving them for later as well.
I mean, right now he's earning 6 a turn, right? So
yeah, it's actually quite good compared to Saber's 1 or 0. Depending on if he's playing an alchemy. I know that when we started off, we weren't sure of this matchup, but as we're watching it unfold, I'm just starting to think that Hidden Cache might be favored, right?
yeah, I think Hidden Cache, certainly, at least on Blue Coin, right? They can really wrest control away from the Skellige player, and force that long range, which is kind of what they want.
Yeah, like look at this. InfernZ has full round control. What did he have to spend to get there? Imki and a couple 4 and 5 Ps. And now he can go into as long a round as he likes. He still has Saul. He still has Lieutenant Von Hurst. He still has Passi. Should be quite strong for him. Of course, both players having heat waves for the opponent's scenario does even the playing field a little bit, but
Yeah, for sure. And InfernZ is really happy to see that on his last mulligan. Soul's going to be really nice here. He can use it on the bleed. More or less forces a heat wave.
I could see...
But he may very well just go for a Spinal here.
I mean, I could see a Saul first, maybe a Von Hurst as well.
He doesn't have the Adriana though, which kind of hurts this Passi turn 1. Obviously, wouldn't mind
Yeah.
going Sol plus Von Hurst here as a soft bleed, because Von Hurst is actually going to make you overswarm in range 3. Not sure if he's considered that, but
I think the nice thing about this, if you're InfernZ, is the fact that Saber passed early in round 1. So if InfernZ does want to go for the bleed here, it could actually be a very favorable 9-card round for him, which plays towards his long round game plan. You could potentially see a 2-0, right?
yeah, I'm a little surprised by this opener. That definitely suggests he's just going to take a long round.
Yeah, there's no way to fully proc the Passiflora anymore, so...
I wouldn't have minded just seeing a Von Hurst first card if he wants to hold this, because Von Hurst is going to overswarm him, I think, in round 3.
Interesting. I feel like this is already a trade in the favor of Syndicate, getting a portal in exchange for just developing some coin carryover. Yeah. We'll take that trade any day, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously nice in terms of provisions and stuff. I'm just a little worried about this Von Hurst. I think this Von Hurst is actually going to hurt him in round 3. May cause him some issues, but should still be favoured for InfernZ here. Ooh, and he doesn't have a single alchemy, and he can't get the pinning off.
Was that a misplay from Saber?
He might have thought that Spores was an alchemy card, but I wouldn't put it past Saber, to be honest. We've all been there, though. I'm not sure it was a misplay, because he does want to bring that out. Not sure he wanted to play the Crow. Like, he could have played anything there to thin that out. Could have played first a Nairo.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It's honestly not necessarily a brick though, right? Because the second one plays for 8 anyway from hand, because it pulls it from the graveyard, so it's not necessarily a misplay. Like, it's the card's still an 8-point play because it will pull it from deck, you just don't get the thin.
InfernZ has drawn all but one of his golds. The Morale still somewhere in the deck, along with the Oneiromancy. And he doesn't get it.
Doesn't, and he ends up with a dead poison.
Saber missing the Defender and the Decoction.
Well, not really, right? He's got Defender on a Nairo.
Oh,
and
he does.
Decoction on
Oh, you're right. Yes, so Saber actually drew all of his golds this game.
Sort of actually been better off taking the line he talked about last time, by just playing the Passi hit trade, because Saber can't really trade immediately, right? Because like InfernZ gains 1 point when he trade heat waves and he starts Passi first.
Right. Okay. Fair and square. Both scenarios get heat waved.
So I think InfernZ here is better off developing his other engines other than Sol, because Sol's always going to be the Spores target, right?
That's right.
So you might as well get the value on the other ones that aren't going to get answered first.
I think that makes a lot of sense. In that case, he would need to play the Von Hurst, what is it, 8th to last, right? So he would have to basically play it this turn to get full value, because it would fill the entire row in the remaining time he has left.
The problem with that is it can mess up your Philippa if Saber plays around the Philippa potentially.
It's been a long, hard road, hasn't it?
But that's something you should consider. We've also got potential overswarming on the front row, right? If you say you play a back row, you may overswarm front row. Doesn't look like he will with this hand. This hand looks like it's okay.
Yeah.
Heat wave a Passi, which denied another unit as well. And took a unit off the board, like the Passi off the board.
I would definitely go Von Hurst next, though, to maximize value.
I can see that for sure.
There's also the consideration that Von Hurst might not proc on your very last turn, because you want to spend all of your coins by then, right?
Yep, that's true. But I think he wants to get these engines down fairly quickly.
This is the decoction, I suppose?
Blood's
No.
tremendous.
Passing up the decoction in favor of a Freya's blessing to get down. Another truism.
Arrogant creature.
What do you think about that play, Ches?
I think it's almost certainly correct. This druid's going to play for more points than anything he can decoction.
To see a fear one day with mine own eyes.
Is it really though?
Yeah,
I don't see it going higher than 8.
I guess not with this hand actually, right? He's got 1 on. So what's he pulling with his? Depends on what he does with his Nairo, right?
8 to 10, yeah. Well, no, it would be 6 to 8, excuse me, right? Because Onairo not pulling an alchemy means that the only alchemy is coming from the leader ability.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a
yeah,
6 point.
Isn't an alchemy. Yeah.
I'm not sure about that, but let's see. Yeah, and I really feel that we should have seen the Von Hurst way before the Sol here. But I guess if you're InfernZ, you might think that Saber has a decoction, so Von Hurst is going to be answered immediately anyway.
See that? And he also turned off this Sol, which is fine, I think. Well, not turned it off, but slowed it down because of spores. But he wanted to answer that engine immediately. I think that was a nice turn for that. I'm assuming that he's actually just going to play Adriano for points, but we'll see. And he's taking the decoction now. He's going to use his leader to kill Sol. Interesting.
Definitely creative. I have a hard time mapping that out, but
Once he gets the spores, one of these.
Think long and
Surprised
hard
he
on that one,
didn't. Why
did
did he not play his Von Hurst? I'm very confused about
and
this.
InfernZ coming in with the emote as
Many
well.
of ours have died of late.
Saber's got this.
Remove his cowl, then his ears.
Really not sure about why he held this.
I guess it's easy for us to see the optimal lines of play, seeing both hands. Both players are probably playing around cards that they think their opponent may or may not have here.
Playing it this late, he does allow him to just double Bear Witcher it, right? Whereas if you played it earlier, this Von Hurst would have just gone through. And like we said, there's no answer to Von Hurst other than decoction. Not sure.
Well, from this
you decline
position,
here?
I've got the whole world in my hands.
By denying penance, you confirm your
I think InfernZ is maybe. Oh, it's very close. It seems very close right now. InfernZ has a what? 14-point play in this Sea Jackal.
Yeah, I think InfernZ has it here, right?
Yeah.
It's close though.
Science is nothing.
Wait.
It's a tied ball game.
Huh. It's crazy to me because I feel that if InfernZ was just a little bit greedier with getting his engines down early, he would have won that game pretty handily. Okay.
good.
So it all
Gwent
comes down to
car.
Vi
Bestest.
versus Witcher and R.
And I think we tend to think that Vi is good against Northern Realms Witchers, right?
Correct.
So definitely, Saber definitely has his work cut out for him in this final match.
I think InfernZ is reasonably happy with his opening hand, but I think he might want one more Vi. possible. Kicks the spores, interesting. Gets a brook, so it's not that bad. So I think personally what I would do here is slam a haunt. Which may seem like a bit of an overcommitment. But essentially what I think is if you win round 1 as Vi, it's pretty hard to lose this matchup.
I tend to think, based off of this opening play, that is not going to happen. I think what InfernZ is going to try to do is greed all the consumes onto the Slizzard, and then Saber is going to end up with a pretty massive Geralt of Rivia to take the round. And we could potentially see a 2-0 win con for Saber, right?
Pretty sure what InfernZ is supposed to do here is play his brooks so that turn, and then probably like, I think he was supposed to start Horn, play brooks the next turn, and just like take it slow and just build up the round, and then try and make it so that there's no way Saber can actually have the points to win the round. That he's for some reason started with. I'm not sure about that sequencing. Why would you go brooks at this turn over last turn? Not entirely sure, but
I think it's very interesting that we saw Saber deliberately hold on to the boiling oil. Well, I guess he couldn't really do anything because the Slizzard had a stratagem protecting it. Never mind. He actually had no option for removing that. I forgot about that because the Slizzard immediately buffed to 17 and the stratagem became buried under the mountain of green strength from the first Vi.
Yep. So I'll be interested to see how InfernZ decides to take this round from here.
Rahaquax pulling a tutor. No big deal there.
I don't think you consume here. I think you just leave this Vi and then consume it with the Vargas next turn. Because he has no heat wave. I guess the downside to that would be if Saber passes, which is why I would have preferred to have just started Haunt here. But if you consume this with anything other than Leader, you just give him the reach on the Geralt. But honestly, Neg held is out. I think InfernZ probably wins the long round as well, but it would be much closer. There's certainly a consideration of a pass there from Saber, but he decides not to take it.
If you pass there,
an adept. Yep.
Why don't train on the
yeah, if you
cone?
pass there
I
as
hate
Saber,
it.
then you're just saying, okay, V, you have control, but you need to now bleed me 2 cards down instead of 1 card down.
Correct. Because InfernZ would have to play another card to consume that Vi, even though he was ahead.
Right.
You can't pass there because of the
Climbing's the easy bit. Getting down's another matter.
The windmill. It sticks spin around and smash you.
Consuming on either the Slizzard or the Barghast is going to line up a very nice vanilla Geralt for Saber.
Saber's actually generate. I'm really not happy with the way InfernZ has played out this round 1 personally. Like, he's basically played into his lose condition here, where he's kind of either forced to play Haunt now to re-wrestle the round back, which means he should have just played it immediately, or give up the round, or go super tall into a Geralt. He decides to go for the Haunt now, but he may as well have just gone for this earlier and got the extra 2 points on this
I'm much better at that.
Spanish.
I can see Kaer from here.
This Geralt is just invaluable in this matchup, not only going to play for incredible value later on, but just existing, forcing InfernZ to take these strange lines.
For sure. The thing is if the rain goes long enough and Saber commits the Geralt, he can win.
Can I come down now?
Even with card advantage. If the rain goes deep enough here, there's just no winning line for Saber. If that Geralt gets played, his only win con here really is winning this round without committing the Geralt.
And then going into a dry pass into a longer round 3, is that what you're thinking?
Oh, no. You
I
can't
mean,
just
it's not necessarily, you
train
don't have
on
to
the
dry pass,
cone.
you can
I
bleed,
hate
so
it.
you can dry pass, but you kind of want to be able to trade that Geralt in round 3.
I would agree, yeah, definitely. This is it. This is going to be a 30-point target for the vanilla Geralt.
Still got the Leo as well. I could see
Yeah.
him roll guard Leo here to take the round. Because
Leo
Leo's
should
not
be
going to play
massive.
that much.
Retrieve the bolt. I know. I'm on
Definitely. I completely agree.
But it is tempting to try and win the round uneven here with a Geralt. Just not sure he wins if he does that.
No, I never underwent mutation, but I'm still a Witcher, damn it.
So this is probably a better situation where you win the round a card down. Oh?
The windmill. It sticks to spin around and smash you.
Not even sure it was particularly wise for Saber to get ahead there. Because Barbagazi gets InfernZ ahead again. And then you're basically forced to play the Geralt to take the round.
You know, it's funny. Saber is almost in a situation where he can brick the villain by filling his entire board with units. Almost.
Almost.
If he goes full leader after playing...
Oh, I think that's a mistake there from InfernZ. I think that is a mistake there from InfernZ. I guess, I mean, this trades with his Geralt, and you get to keep the Barbagazi, but... Like, he always just takes this Geralt now. Maybe he's okay, but now he gives him just a chance to get to him. Whereas if you play the Barbagazi, he then plays the Royal Guard, and yeah.
Let's get this over
I think we have a 2-0 incoming.
Yep, I can definitely see it.
Although, if InfernZ plays just 1 or 2 Vi's, I mean, what really
But he's
Saber
guaranteed
do?
at least one, right? Because he got Naglfar. 2, he's guaranteed 2 actually.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I don't even know what can Saber even do to threaten a Vi player with this sort of hand, you know, in such a short round.
Foglet's actually pretty nice, I think.
Is there a Foglet? It's showing a Slizzard on my screen, but oh, there we go. Now it's Barghest. Yeah, all right. So
Saber actually doesn't bother going for the lead, I guess, because he bricked his witches.
Well, you know, there's also the option to just say, hey, I've got a pretty decent long round. I'll take a 7 versus 6 card round, in which I'll be able to play Scytheman for really big value. Really get that kind of Witcher swarm going. Boost swarm.
And InfernZ has actually gone and bricked his Foglets. He missed the 2 of the Tudors for Vi. The Vi and the Tudor. He also missed double lava this game.
Saber, on the other hand, missing absolutely nothing at all. I feel like if you've got a, you know, if there's a 7 versus 6 card round you could win against Vi as Uprising, this is definitely it.
For sure.
Climbing's the easy bit. Getting down's another matter.
This is going to be a lot of points for Mr. Saber here.
What card do you mulligan back? It's always the target. The target practice, right?
Windmill. Hard.
Uh-oh.
To hit the mark, we aim above the mark.
Finns could have had 4 plus another Vi here. Would be probably his optimal if he didn't break it. That Foglet was another Vi. I guess if that Bruxa was also another V, he could have had another 2. So I think with an optimal
The
hand.
wonders of projectiles.
The question is does he win with 1 more Vi? Because if he wins with 1 more Vi, then this is kind of sad.
Yeah, so 56 points in the bank right now for InfernZ. It's still a threat, right? But
Pretty sure that Saber's got this from here.
I think, yeah, Saber also has quite a few points. Silver Witchers, Leader, Scytheman, which is going to be extremely tall.
It would be plus 29 essentially if he had another Vi.
Or even another Vi instead of a Foglet would be... That would
That's what he
be...
Time to
Yeah.
reap, a time to sow.
Even give him one more. Honestly, if he didn't break that Foglet, he could have had... yeah, he needed one more Vi there. It's a little unfortunate for him. Breaking that Foglet didn't actually matter if he doesn't draw another Vi though. It's too many points. It's 9-point difference, so no card in his deck played for 9 points other than the Vi, so he kind of has to take that more.
And well done to Saber for overtaking an unfavored matchup against Vi.
Yeah, it was very well played, I think, there from Saber's perspective. InfernZ maybe just needs a little bit more, like, I'm not sure if it would have played out any differently if he does start with the Haunt, but I'm pretty sure he's always having to commit that Haunt there anyway, so he might as well play it straight away, at least in my opinion. But that's game 1. Moving on now to game 2. It'll be a showdown between me and you, GoFlow. Do you want to? How are you feeling about that?
Pretty confident. You know, I don't really think I have much to worry about. No.
I didn't talk.
I think it should be. I think it should be a pretty competitive series. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to giving you a good old spanking when you bring the decks that I've targeted, right?
Yeah, right.
That's the hope, anyway.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant to say. Definitely.